and we're almost ready to go. This is how they line up then. Hugo Lloris in goal for Tottenham, a back four of Serge Aurier, Davinson Sanchez, Toby Alderweireld in for the injured Eric Dyer, and Sergio Reguilon. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg is the holding midfielder, with Moussa Sissoko and Tongai Ndombele either side of him. And then a front line of Son Heung-min, Steven Bergwijn, who comes in for Eric Lamela, who's out of the squad this afternoon, and Harry Kane up top. On the bench for Spurs, Joe Hart, Matt Doherty, Harry Winks, Gareth Bale in the number 9 shirt, Lucas Moura, Ben Davis and Carlos Vinicius. As for West Ham, it's Lucas Fabianski in goal, unchanged from that game at Leicester where they won 3-0. The wing-backs, Vladimir Koufal and Artur Musawaku. The centre-halves, Fabian Balbuena, Angelo Ogbonna and Aaron Cresswell, who provided 2 assists in that game. Declan Rice and Thomas Souček are the holding midfielders. Declan Rice captaining the team while Mark Noble's on the bench. And then Jarrod Bowen and Pablo Fornals either side of Mikel Antonio. All 3 of those scored in that excellent victory at Leicester. On the bench for West Ham, Andrei Yarmolenko, Manuel Lanzini, Robert Snodgrass, Mark Noble, Issa Diop, Ryan Fredericks and Darren Randolph. Fredericks back from injury, Diop back from isolation, Snodgrass also back in the squad. No Sebastian Haller this afternoon, and we are about to go in the London derby. Here we go then. Pablo Fornals with the kickoff, plays it back into the heart of defence, and Balbuena sends it forward. 2 clean sheets in a row for West Ham coming into this one. They haven't won 3 in a row without conceding in the Premier League for 6 years. Bradley Allen, the former Premier League striker, is alongside me, and while there are no fans, which is such a shame, it should be a great game to watch, Bradley.
It certainly should. You know, both these sides in pretty good form at the start of this new season. West Ham have a chance here, turnover for Spurs with Souček.
Souček plays it forward, it's laid off for Fornals, tried to thread it back through to Mikel Antonio, but it's worked away by Tottenham, and now Harry Kane in a more of a midfield role there, but he's going to play it for Son to chase because he's got the pace to be able to latch onto that. Here he is in the penalty area, 6 goals already this season, make it 7! 7 for Son Heung-min, released by Harry Kane. We've only had 50 seconds and Son has scored for Tottenham here, and they continue where they left off against Manchester United. It's Spurs 1, West Ham 0.
What a start, an unbelievable pass. I said a couple of weeks ago, Harry Kane is on for the assist record in the Premier League. He's turboed away. West Ham had a high line, Son exposed it, cut back in once he received the ball, and he doesn't miss opportunities like that, buried it into the corner. That is just a devastating 1v1 scenario. Son at his best, he's playing the best football of his career at the moment. What a start for Tottenham.
Well, it's a good thing I got that stat about the clean sheets in early, Bradley, because West Ham have conceded here, first time in 3 games in the Premier League. But they'd started on the front foot, and it was actually Tottenham just opening them up with just that straightforward, as it looked, pass from Harry Kane, but it was pinpoint perfect for Son to run onto, and he did the rest. Ball cleared away by Tottenham up the right-hand side, takes a deflection, it'll be a throw-in to Spurs on that right-hand side. 1 minute 59 seconds now gone, and it's already Spurs leading by a goal to 0 after a goal in the first minute from Son, who's got 7 now for the season, and Harry Kane with his 7th assist already this season. Well, that should be a bit of a shell shocker for West Ham.
Well, I think from West Ham's point of view now, they just need to somehow just steady themselves, try to get a foothold in this game, because what they can ill afford here is to go further behind. But the crazy scenario almost, dare I say, Andy, if you're one of the Tottenham attacking players, do you know what you've got to do? You've got to score every game if you get a chance to play, just to stay in the team. That's what you've got to do. That's no mean feat in itself.
Well, you mentioned how Harry Kane will just be wanting to play, Bradley. I believe he's only missed 4 minutes in the Premier League under Jose Mourinho since the restart in June. So, you know, he is amazingly, able to keep going in the Premier League. Doesn't want to give up his shirt at the best of times, but even more so now. Not that you would think his position's under threat, even though Jose Mourinho did say that no one is a first choice as such anymore, but Harry Kane would always be first name on the team sheet, you would think. The way Son's playing, he's holding down his position, and Gareth Bale is looming, of course, for any of the other attackers trying to get into that front 3. Declan Rice on the ball for West Ham. The captain moves it out towards the left-hand side, and here's Cresswell playing it up the touchline to Masuaku. That's a lovely pass into Antonio. Sanchez comes in with a crunching tackle. It's a free kick to West Ham, and Antonio did well. That's what he does so well. I know he's new to that role, Bradley, but he does shield the ball really well.
His ability to back into the defenders, use his superb upper body strength, did ever so well there as it was played into feet. And you know, when you're a defender, you make the challenge, you sort of come through the back of your opponent, as Sanchez did then. You're susceptible to giving away a free kick, and this is a good position for West Ham. They've pushed the defenders up, got a lot of players now across the line of the Tottenham 18-yard box.
Now Cresswell's looking to hit this, but I'm not sure if he's going to go direct for goal here. They've got so many players lined up. Declan Rice is also thinking about maybe having a drive at goal. I wouldn't have thought it would be a cross from Declan Rice, but it's interesting to see what they're going to do with this, because they could have taken this on as a shot. Here goes Cresswell. He's going to try and curl it into the top corner. Hits the stanchion, and it will be a goal kick for Spurs.
Yeah, he's done that before in his West Ham career. The West Ham number 3. He's got a nice left foot. The trajectory of the ball up and over the wall, just outside the frame of the goal. A lot of swerve. Ball deviating. Hugo Lloris flew across. I think he had it covered that side of the goal, but a decent effort there from Aaron Cresswell.
It wasn't that far away in the end, was it? The way it was curling and hit the outside of the goal, as you say, and then onto the stanchion. But it remains Spurs 1, West Ham 0. If you're just joining us, you've missed the first goal of the game, and that was Son scoring after being released down the left channel by Harry Kane's excellent pass. Now ball back to Fabianski, real pressure on him as Son chased down that ball, but he manages to get it away the pole, and it's out towards the halfway line. And here comes Souček, the Czech Republic international, trying to play that ball down the right flank to Bowen. Goes back in the end to Kufal.
Playing at such speed, isn't it, the opening few minutes of the game. Again, Son there. Great pass from West Ham.
Souček
Spurs are stretched down the left side of their defence, but he was about 5 yards behind Valbuena, the ball in behind. Credit to Fabianski, whose start position was good. Slid out, fly hacked it clear, and then down the other end, West Ham are threatening. And what West Ham do know, with players playing with a lot of confidence in their attacking positions, they can certainly threaten and get on the score sheet this afternoon. Corner here for the Hammers.
Here it comes then, a corner from the right-hand side. It will be a left-footed in-swinging delivery from Bowen. And West Ham have got plenty of players right in front of Hugo Lloris in that 6-yard box. In it goes towards the near post. Little flick on and cleared away by Sanchez. I think in the end it came off a West Ham player as he tried to play it out.
What a miss.
It was Antonio.
It skipped through at such speed. Flick on from Agbona. Looks as if Sanchez there volleyed that one back out of play.
Must have flicked Antonio as he did so.
Should have been a follow-up corner, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Surprised at that one.
They didn't look
Perhaps
like a big
he's not being
from
reviewed.
The West Ham players, though, did they? They didn't look up in arms that it was. So maybe.
Brilliant delivery though
Antonio.
from West Ham. Very dangerous.
Cleared away by Spurs from the goal kick. Very good header down by Bergwijn to Kane. He's going to try and play it through for Bergwijn to chase. Here he comes into the penalty area, chips it up for Son, and Kufal does very well to get ahead on that and just get it away from the South Korean, who was ready to try and head that in and double the lead for Spurs at the back post. Kane just outside the penalty area. Brilliant work from Kane, and it's a goal for the England captain as well. Spurs lead 2-0 here against West Ham. 7 minutes gone, all his own work really. Beat 2 defenders in short space and then just fired away a shot. Fabianski didn't move. Tottenham 2, West Ham 0.
Another breakout from Tottenham. Bergwijn actually was unselfish trying to chip the cross up, but they recycled the ball. Edge of the box, nutmeg from Kane. Short back lift, early shot. Motionless Fabianski, 2-0 Tottenham.
I know that it's an excellent strike. He works the space, Bradley, to be able to get the strike away. Will West Ham be disappointed that he's managed to do that?
So. I think it was Agbona that come out, but you know, the quality of Harry Kane, he knows that often a defender that goes to block there is going to spread their legs almost. There's going to be a gap there, and he skips the ball under, through the space, and when it comes off the surface, the goalkeeper's got no chance because of the pace on the shot. Brilliant finish.
I think he nutmegs Declan Rice as well, just before Agbona has to jump in. But suddenly West Ham, who would have come into this game with confidence and would have felt, right, we just play a little like we did at Leicester. Solid, but we can still press and look for goals given the way our front three are playing. Suddenly they're 2-0 down, after 7 minutes, and they've got a huge task on their hands. And as Bradley mentioned before the game, they are bristling with confidence, Spurs. They are frightening going forward at the moment. Alderweireld heads the ball out into touch, and it's a throw-in for West Ham on the left-hand side. Well, I did mention before the game, just off-air, that still no nil-nils in the Premier League this season, and I was told, just be careful, on a tempt fate. Well, 2 goals in 7 minutes means that that's still the case. Ball is with Masuaku, tries to pull it back towards the edge of the penalty area to Fornals. It's cut out though by Aurier, and that will be out for a throw-in to West Ham, left-hand side. Here it comes then from Masuaku. It's going to be a longer one by the looks of things. In fact, no, he's just going to play it short to Antonio, who holds it up at the byline, and it's a heavy touch. It's gone out for a goal kick to Spurs, who lead 2-0 here. 9 minutes gone on BBC Radio London Sport on digital.
I think from Spurs' point of view, you know, if you earn yourself early goals in a game, put yourself in a favourable position, I think consistency can be built when you're able to really firmly grip, take that opportunity, grasp the game. I think that's what still these Spurs group of players have to develop over the coming weeks or months if they're going to be serious contenders in this campaign.
Reguilon plays that ball infield to Kane, who drops into the centre circle for Spurs. Sissoko and Højbjerg play the ball between them, and now it's moved out to the left to Reguilon. He's going to play it inside to Harry Kane, and this is great football from Tottenham at the moment. West Ham chasing shadows somewhat as the ball is with Ndombele. Centre field, midway inside the West Ham half. Højbjerg, the signing from Southampton, who looks like the midfield general that Jose Mourinho always likes to have in his team. He's just a pretty tough character.
I think you see that in his Manchester United performance, certainly, and for Denmark in the international games. He's disciplined. I think he demands as well off of his players, you know, from a vocal point of view. You know, players to get tight, win tackles, be disciplined out of possession, shuffle across the pitch, keep your shape when you don't have the football. And he could prove to be an important cog in this Tottenham wheel.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be overshadowed by some of the signings, isn't it? But he might be one of the really big ones, because you can't see him not playing many games in the Premier League for them if he's fit. As Antonio on the turn, trying to get away. Reguilon has been penalised for a foul there, and it will be a free kick. I think Sanchez actually was the one.
They're conscious, Tottenham, aren't they, of that forward pass that West Ham make into Antonio. They know that he's hold-up play. It gives them that platform to then build, run off of him, get passes then and combine through the Tottenham defensive line and into that final third.
Rice up the left touchline to Masuaku. That's come off the Spurs defender Aurier, who doesn't agree with the decision, and West Ham take a quick throw into Declan Rice. Back it comes to Masuaku. Shapes to make the left-footed cross, then dummies and goes again, and then the block comes in from Aurier, and it's a corner to West Ham. We've already seen a good corner from the Hammers from the other side. This time it will be Cresswell to play in an out-swinging corner from that left-hand side. 11 minutes gone. It's Tottenham 2, West Ham 0 here in the live game of the third of 3 on BBC Radio London this afternoon. Fulham drawing 1-1 at Sheffield United when they were unlucky maybe not to get 3 points, and Palace drawing 1-1 with Brighton after a late goal for the Seagulls against the Eagles. Here comes the corner, flicked away towards the edge of the penalty area, and then Reguilon sends it out towards Masuaku, who's midway inside the Tottenham half of the field. He drives forward, beats 2 Tottenham players. The deflection comes to Ogbonna, now out to the left touchline. Cresswell, who took the corner, tries to play it off Højbjerg and then continued the run. Antonio comes over to challenge Ndombele, who has it deep in his own half, right on the goal line, and then Alderweireld is able to clear up towards the halfway line. Headed forward by Fornals. Underneath it is Sissoko. Drops on the halfway line of Declan Rice, and he'll move it on towards the right to Balbuena, who can come forward across the halfway line. Now Bowen, the former Hull City player, cuts in field and then plays it back to Angelo Ogbonna in the heart of the defence. He moves it on to Cresswell. The former Ipswich defender gets it into Bowen in between the lines. He's going to throw it through towards Antonio. Good first touch, left-footed shot, and it's wide, and it will be offside anyway against Antonio. But that's the sort of
West Ham's credit,
doing.
I think some of their build-up play has been impressive. It's been produced with confidence. There's been some style, different movement. Bowen cleverly just sort of rolls in off the line, picks the ball up, and then he's on his favoured left foot in more central position, and the offload there to Antonio was impressive.
Kane picking the ball up deeper again in the centre circle, plays it back, and now Højbjerg has it on the halfway line for Spurs, who lead 2-0 here with BBC Radio London Sport on digital against West Ham. Tottenham Hotspur is live on 94.9 FM right now as the ball is played by Højbjerg, and more space for Bergwijn to bring the ball forward down that right-hand side. Plays it down the touchline, and Aurier will just keep possession for Spurs and play it back to the French international Sissoko. Here he is again, the former Newcastle man Sissoko, moving it out to the right touchline to Aurier. Back to Sissoko again, and now Alderweireld just inside his own half. Tottenham playing some possession football just for the moment as Sanchez has it, moves it out to the left of Reguilon. Kufal closes him down tightly, and then Tottenham are forced back to their own goalkeeper. Good work in defence there from West Ham.
Yeah, I think, you know, with very experienced quality coaches, Alan Irvine, Paul Nevin, Kevin Noden, certainly Stuart Pearce, you know, West Ham have improved over recent weeks from a defensive point of view. Another long ball, searching pass from Alderweireld. We know he can play them.
Son took a touch, was trying to just hold on to the ball and play it through to Harry Kane as he made the run, but West Ham were able to get a foot in and clear the ball away. But Spurs will come forward again. Højbjerg moves it out to Reguilon on this left-hand side. Back in field from him to Ndombele, the £60 million man. He's going to move it back to Alderweireld, and now out towards Aurier on the right-hand side.
The thing is now with Spurs, the possession themselves, if West Ham do drop back in and are compact in shape, you know, Tottenham with that 2-0 lead, as long as Tottenham on transition are reacting to West Ham's breakout and counter-attack when they have a high line, I think that from a tactical point of view is going to be crucial for Tottenham, at least I would suggest, for the next 45-50 minutes of this game, Andy.
Mikel Antonio actually scored the goal in that first away win here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. You might remember, Bradley, season before last, when Spurs moved in here and did a little dance along the goal line, I seem to remember, after scoring that goal. He's in rich form, but at the moment they're on the back foot, West Ham, and it's Spurs coming forward again. Reguilon sends it in towards Harry Kane. It's 3. Tottenham have had an unbelievable start here. 15 minutes gone, and they lead against West Ham by 3 goals to 0. It's Harry Kane's 4th goal of the season for Spurs, and they are wiping the floor at the moment with their rivals West Ham. 3-0 they lead.
Another brilliant attack from Tottenham. They just lured West Ham onto them. The out ball, the spare player was Reguilon, and the pick out on the cross. What a delivery, and Harry Kane doesn't miss them. He actually missed a header, a big heady chance for England in the week. Glanced it wide, he wasn't going to miss that one. Back across goal, perfect delivery, sublime header, 3-0.
You do question like how many it could be the way they're going at the moment, Bradley. I mean, this is a side in West Ham that have had those 2 impressive victories, but Tottenham are tearing them apart.
Well, the listening, the watching Tottenham fans, they'll be dreaming they're in May, aren't they, playing like this and picking the trophy up, Andy? If you're a Tottenham fan, you know, the last performance against Manchester United and what we've seen here, and that's without Gareth Bale.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, that, as you say, Reguilon, another player that may be overshadowed by the Gareth Bale signing on the same day, but I mean, that is another brilliant player they've brought in there, isn't it?
A Europa League winner, outstanding for Seville, one of the best young fullbacks, you know, in Spanish football, and he just showed his quality there, and he's going to get fitter and further improve with more fixtures as he adapts and gets used to Premier League football in this country.
West Ham right up against it here, and their fans will be absolutely gutted the way this has started. At the moment they are looking a little shell-shocked, and Spurs dominant at 3 goals up already in this game. And we've had just over a quarter of an hour on BBC Radio London. Sanchez moves it to Alderweireld. Back he goes to Hugo Lloris.
The other thing as well, Andy, as you've brilliantly commentated on, the quality of the goals as well. You know, just brilliant finishes, all 3 of them.
Yeah, it's been so impressive to watch the way that they've just put those passes, the crosses, and the pass is on a plate for the person who's trying to get on the end of them, and the pass from Kane to Son was absolutely perfect. That cross from Reguilon to Kane was absolutely brilliant as well. And here they come forward again, and it's Ndombele moving it out towards the right-hand side. And Kane, the goal in the middle. Now that was just brilliant work from him, nutmeg Declan Rice, and then just fired it in before the keeper could even set himself. Son on the turn. Here he gets it 30 yards from goal. Didn't quite run for him, and Declan Rice will try and bring it away. But no lung-busting run as we saw against Leicester this time, as Koufal then takes it on down the right touchline. And look at that from Reguilon, the number 3 for Spurs. Gets back in there and clears the ball away. Son has to dash to get to that before Antonio, and Antonio diving in has caught him, and that will be a yellow card for West Ham.
Yeah, he was just committed to the challenge. I don't think it was overzealous there, Antonio, and Son had no choice. A fraction quicker to the ball, towed it away, flipped over, and he leaves the referee with no choice there to yellow card the West Ham striker.
So it's excellent start for Spurs at the moment, and it's the duo that we see playing so well together, Harry Kane and Son Heung-min, who've been combining once again. He's found an absolute perfect foil, Harry Kane, really, with Son, but they are just as lethal as each other, really, the way they play together. And they are right up there with a few of the other great duos that we've seen in terms of how many goals they're scoring at the moment, those two. As the ball is played infield to Højbjerg, and although they play as part of a front three, I think there's only about 5 pairings who've actually scored more in the Premier League as a pairing playing together than Kane and Son have managed together. There's a foul from Souček on Harry Kane, and it will be a free kick to Spurs just inside their own half of the field. You're listening to BBC
I think
Radio
they'll be
London.
really wary of that as well now, West Ham. The players jumping, pressing, closing down, because that space where Spurs can just cut through West Ham with, you know, a ball through into a pocket, a ball in behind for a searching run.
Ball flicks off a defender. Cresswell will have to clear this, and away
Such a variety to their attacking play, even a switch of play, and using, as we've seen, the advancing fullbacks on either side, Aurier and Reguilon.
Ball is with Sanchez in the centre circle, plays it forward towards Ndombele. The Colombian Sanchez is back on the ball again, and it will be moved out towards the left to Reguilon. Here he is again, the Spanish left-back, plays it to Alderweireld, who of course won the title with Ajax in the Eredivisie, but waiting for that elusive trophy with Tottenham. Is this going to be the season when that might happen? They've got a League Cup quarter-final already in the calendar in December. They've got the Europa League to contend with. FA Cup will come in the spring, of course. And the way they're playing at the moment, they will be some people's dark horses maybe for the title. There's a long way to go, as Bradley mentioned, but they could move into second place if they win this afternoon. And the way they're going, that looks very likely indeed. 3-0 up after 21 minutes as the ball is held up there for a free kick.
I think it was a little kick on the back of the heel of Bergwijn from Aaron Cresswell. So Spurs have got a free kick in a good position here. Wide right-hand side. Son, it looks as if he's going to use his right foot, outswinger. Tottenham players up from the back.
Here it will come then from the right-hand side. And it will be Son who's going to play it in from around 12 yards from the byline, out on the right touch line. Fornals is in a one-man wall on the edge of the penalty area, and then everyone else is kind of lined up on the edge of the 6-yard box. Bergwijn and Reguilon just outside the box in case anything comes out. So most players from West Ham back. Here it comes from Son, and it's headed up in the air by Ogbonna. Doesn't quite know where it is. Balbuena comes forward to try and head it away, and then Antonio up in the air. No foul on him, despite the fact that he went down, and then Fornals tries to burst away. Tackle comes in from Aurier, and there's a head injury that the referee says we've got to stop play for, and it's to a Tottenham player, and so play will be halted
West
for a
Ham
second.
cleared their lines, and they were breaking, although Tottenham had numbers back, and I think Sissoko there challenged Antonio. It was a good header. He just sort of fell awkwardly, got caught perhaps with an accidental flailing arm. Might require a little bit of treatment here. and a chance for a little bit of downtime and respite for the West Ham players. They probably need that. David Moyes is just sort of calling a few of them in to offer some instruction. Spurs players just having a quick drink on this near touchline. But superb start in these first 23 minutes from Tottenham.
It's Sissoko who's down, just getting the treatment after a bit of a collision, I think, with Antonio. So he's just going to get back to his feet now. And Spurs come across to the touchline for some rehydration. West Ham, David Moyes is actually on the field of play at the moment, having a word with Fornals and Bowen as he tries to plot a way back into this game. They must have been needing a little bit of a break there, West Ham, after what's been a pretty chastening early stage of this game.
Yeah, it's probably done them a little bit of a favour, actually.
Yeah,
just,
a bit like
just
the drinks break.
Yeah, just to gather their thoughts and just sort of take a deep breath here and try and go again in the next 20 minutes.
He's had 14 attempts before to try and beat a team managed by Jose Mourinho, David Moyes, and has never managed to crack it so far. And his team are 3-0 down at the moment against this Spurs team that's playing with boundless confidence at the moment. Here's Reguilon, often in space out on the left-hand side, and he will choose to go back to Sanchez at the back. Sissoko's okay to continue, by the way, in the midfield for Spurs as the ball is clipped forward by Lloris. There's Kane again, lots of space, good control, and then try to turn. Balbuena manages to get there before he can run onto that ball. He's picking up some really interesting positions, isn't he, Kane, this season, Bradley, as Bowen comes forward down the left. He looks like he's onside at the moment because the flag hasn't gone up yet. Cleared away by Tottenham towards the edge of the box. Ndombele with a nice bit of skill gets away from Masuaku and then is fouled. Free kick to Spurs.
Yeah, he's almost playing as a number 10, you know, having come through the academy himself. He did sort of start and play in his more youthful days as sort of an attacking midfield player, then off the side in wing positions, and then with his presence and physique developing into a centre forward. But you know, as his career progresses, he could even drop into that sort of position in his latter years, possibly.
Well, we talked about Mikel Antonio. He's had 10 goals in 11 games since the restart. He's certainly been one of the form players since restart. He's up there with the likes of Ings, Sterling and Kane. Here's Fornals, who's going to have a shot that's saved at the near post by Hugo Lloris. West Ham did hit the target from Fornals there, who scored in that last game against Leicester. Well, Ings, Sterling and Kane have all scored, of course, this weekend so far. That means that they are the three top scorers since we restarted, but Antonio will be desperate to try and join them on that 11-goal mark as well. He scored 4, of course, at Norwich. First West Ham player ever to do that in the Premier League. As the ball is played out now to Kufal on the right-hand side, and he's going to dart forward towards the halfway line. Clips it forward for Fornals to chase. He's really stretching every sinew to get to that one, but he won't.
Pity that. Good play out. Declan Rice did ever so well defensively against Bergwijn. Little shoulder charge, good strength for the young England midfield player. And West Ham play from left to right-hand side. And Kufal, the new right-back, opted for a longer pass, tried to put Fornal in behind the Tottenham defence, but the ball just skipped through out for a goal kick.
Bradley Allen, the voice you can hear there, alongside me here at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as Reguilon clears up the left touchline for Spurs. Then Son dinks it back in field to Ndombele, and he'll go back to Sanchez, who will play it back to Lloris, up towards Harry Kane, up against Balbuena. Great strength to hold him off, then tries to get it out towards the left-hand side to Ndombele, and that's going to be another free kick to Spurs. Balbuena penalised for the foul on Harry Kane.
Not sure. I think Balbuena did quite well using his strength. He chose to sort of try and unsettle Harry Kane there as Lloris played a longer pass up to the halfway line. Spurs again, though, from the layoff, possibly were breaking forward on their left-hand side with Ndombele.
Declan Rice plays that ball back to Cresswell, and he'll try and play a ball up the left channel, but it was way beyond Antonio, and Alderweireld will go back.
They're keen, West Ham, aren't they? They're keen to play the ball forward early because they know they've got pace in Bowen, Antonio.
Here's Højbjerg, and Dane moves it out to Reguilon on this left-hand side, and there's just areas of the pitch where Tottenham just seem to be able to pick up way too much space for West Ham's liking. And here is another of those positions where Reguilon is, out on this left touchline. He moves forward and then goes back down the line to Ndombele. Ndombele plays it forward to Son, lays it off to Højbjerg. Here's Harry Kane, chips it towards Ndombele. He's going to try and thread it through. Here's Aurier, great run from him, tries to pull it back inside the penalty area. Masuaku does just enough, and then Cresswell clears it away. Yeah, lovely play from Spurs. Disguise, reverse pass in between left full-back and left centre-half there from Ndombele. And Aurier, who sort of drifted on the shoulder of the defender, was tempted to cross first time. He had a first touch, and that just then enabled West Ham defence to block the near post area when the delivery came in. So West Ham trailing by 3-0 here at Tottenham as they move the ball out to the right, and Koufal's in loads of space, but Reguilon matches him for pace and then is fouled, the Spaniard. Good speed. He did so well, didn't he? Lovely switch from West Ham, left to right hand side, pushing the wing back Koufal on, but he anticipated that fleet of foot diagonally across the pitch there from Reguilon. Got to the ball first, he was just bumped, a little bit of contact, and drew the free kick. When you look at Harry Kane, we talk so much about how he so often hits the target, Bradley, and you know, a lot of the other aspects of his play at the top end of the pitch, but his passing and his range of passing is like right up there with anything in the Premier League, isn't it? I think that's, you know, been developed over so many years, Andy. As a young player, he always, from a very young age, you know, had the determination to do extra practice, work on his finishing, and I think you now see that in his passing as well, because he's such a quite brilliant ball striker with both feet. We saw it, that pass for Son, and he's kept doing it, just dropping deep as Bowen is fouled there by Højbjerg, and Højbjerg almost saying to the referee, well, you let one go against Bergwijn, so I thought you might let one go for us as well. Bergwijn's still down. He got a little clip on the outside of his left ankle there, Bergwijn, just taking a bit of time to gingerly get himself back to his feet. So it will be a free kick to West Ham as a result of all that. Tottenham send most of their players back, apart from Bergwijn, who's just limping a little bit. And it will now be a chance for West Ham to try and get back into this contest after a rollicking opening to the game from Tottenham Hotspur. Here it goes then. Cresswell taking his time with it, chips it towards the left of the penalty area. Souček gets a good head on it. Ogbonna goes in for it. Really brave header there from Højbjerg, who punches the air. That's what he's all about. Well, what West Ham do well, and he's been impressive since arriving at the club, is they tend to find the head of Souček on a set play, on a free kick and a corner. He won that one there. It was back across into the danger area. A bit of a melee. Bravery there from Højbjerg. He got absolutely clattered. Spurs actually might have wanted the referee to let it run for another couple of seconds, because there was a 2v2 breakout opportunity for them. Son heads the ball down. Bergwijn is back into the melee, tries to get that ball off Ogbonna, and then it's moved out to the left-hand side to Masuaku. Plays it through towards Fornals, laid back to Declan Rice. Tackle comes in from Ndombele. It's out for a throw-in to West Ham. And, on the left-hand side. So I mentioned about dynamic duos in the Premier League, Bradley. They've moved level with Anderton and Sheringham as goal scorers combined in the Premier League. 27 goals they've scored together in the Premier League when they've both combined to make that goal, with an assist and a goal. And they're 9 short of the record for that, which is Didier Drogba and Frank Lampard. But 5th in the list, or 4th equal now. As the ball comes into the box, Reguilon clears away, Son picks it up, and he will start to dart forward, and danger signs all over the pitch now for West Ham as Spurs canter forward. Kane, it might run for Son. Good foot in from West Ham, and now they can come away with the ball. Souček tries to play it out to Bowen, loses the ball against Sanchez, and Spurs back in possession again inside the West Ham half. It's Kane, he's moving forward, gets it into Reguilon. He's tackled by Ogbonna, and West Ham will be able to come away with Masuaku, left-hand side. He's got Bowen making a good dart down the right, but he'll go through the left-hand side to Antonio. Just holds on to the ball well against 2 Tottenham players, and then moves it out to Koufal on the right-hand side. Vladimir Koufal, the new signing from... Credit to West Ham here, Andy. They're not sticking, are they?
You know, there could be a little bit of pride where damage limitations, but I think David Moyes and his coaching staff are just saying, hey, you know what, let's try and get the next goal here, because 3-1, you never know, we could produce a remarkable turnaround. The only thing, if Spurs do pick them off, like we've seen, they did it against Manchester United, at any stage, if there is room and space for them to break into, they could score a fourth before half-time.
They're not being cowed, though, as you say. I sometimes think at this stage of the game, what would the fans be doing between them? You know, the West Ham fans, how would they drive their team on, and what would the Tottenham fans be like? You know, they'd be cheering every pass, wouldn't they?
Oh, yeah.
And olaying. But it's very different, of course, now, and I just wonder sometimes whether that has changed the way that the dynamics of the game, whether that means that defenders aren't quite as on edge as they might be with fans in the stadium, and that's maybe why we're seeing so many more goals. As the ball is on the right with Spurs, Bergwijn leaves it for Aurier, in comes across, Son goes in for it, and Fabianski with a really brave take there.
Wonderful save, super run, darting run, near post area, great pick out from Aurier, but Bowen at the other end. This really is a counter-attacking game, isn't it, for both these sides?
There's been quite a few of them, but it is like a basketball game. And I saw one yesterday, Chelsea-Southampton, that finished 3-3, but yeah, as soon as Tottenham have an attack one end and West Ham pick it up, back we go the other end, and fitness levels, you know, you're doing shuttle runs, aren't you?
Over big distances here.
Yeah, definitely. Here comes the cross from the left. It was looking for Antonio. Sanchez is there to clear the ball away, flicked away by Bergwijn up to the halfway line, and Ogbonna on the turn plays it to Balbuena. Out from the back from the man who's known as the General in South America, moved out towards Koufal on the right-hand side. He chips it in, it's beyond Bowen, headed away by Alderweireld, straight to Fornals. Fornals has got two up there with him, and cut out by Sanchez, and behind off Reguilon.
Again,
corner.
Good work from West Ham. I think their switch of play and crosses into the box looks increasingly threatening. Delivery there from Fornal, and there's a few Tottenham defenders with, you know, their hands on their hips there. They've been stretched, and West Ham, I think, in my opinion, Andy, are worthy of a goal here.
Yeah.
They've had a real go in an attacking sense. It's just that they've got caught out with Spurs' attacking brilliance.
Here we go then with the corner. It's going to be Bowen to play it in. There was a good corner earlier, which was just wide in the end, and here comes another one. It's headed away by Kane, edge of the 6-yard box, back in from Declan Rice, but picked off by Højbjerg, and he tries to get out to the left. He's giving it straight to Bowen. Bowen coming forward for West Ham. Can they get a goal back here? Missed by Souček. Comes to Antonio. Great tackle by Alderweireld, just as Antonio was about to pull the trigger there for West Ham. Chance for another cross here from Cresswell. He's not going to reach that, though, but Aurier doesn't take any chances. Didn't know who it come off, so he tries to clear it away. West Ham have won it back, and this is the moment maybe for West Ham. They're just starting to ask questions of Tottenham here with 36 on the clock, still 3-0 down, but if they've got a goal back, who knows? But now Tottenham will try and hit them on the break as they look for a fourth. Son up to the halfway line. He's got Kane making his way through the middle. Brilliantly played through to Kane. He is offside though, and Fabianski
Yeah, late
saves.
flag, the new rule in.
I
can't believe though that I would say for 10 minutes here there's been some last-ditch frantic defending. And let's remind everybody, Tottenham are 3-0 up, Andy, aren't they? That's the manner of this game. It's been a quite brilliant spectacle, and sort of similar to a number of Premier League matches that we've seen in recent weeks. You know, this all-out attacking approach by so many Premier League sides.
Yeah, if you think back to those two home games against Everton and Tottenham, Everton and Newcastle for Tottenham, it's completely different here this afternoon after that game at Old Trafford. This is really something from Spurs, and they still might have more in them before half-time. 8 minutes to go till the break here on BBC Radio London Sport, on digital and online. Tottenham 3, West Ham 0. And don't forget, Tottenham Hotspur is live right now on 94.9 FM. There's a throw-in from Reguilon on the left-hand side for Spurs, level with his own penalty area. And he will look to send this up the touchline towards Harry Kane, most likely. And it will be sent forward towards the England captain. Flicks it on under pressure from Souček, looking to try and help it on towards Bergwijn. He does well under pressure and hooks it back into the midfield to Sissoko. Then Højbjerg sends a strange one up in the air towards Alderweireld, but he's got enough space to be able to head that down to Aurier. The Ivory Coast international sent it forward towards Son, flicked down by him towards Ndombele, gets away from Souček. This will be a foul, but they'll play on. Advantage for Spurs. It's Reguilón sending in a cross, and it's just beyond Bergwijn, and Cresswell will deal with it at the back.
Well, Spurs still in an attacking sense want more goals here. West Ham perhaps will feel if they can just get on the scoreboard before half-time, we can have another brilliant 45 minutes of football in the second period. If they were to get it to 3-1, I think they've shown a spirit, a determination to keep going, because I thought at 3-0 a number of their players may well have sort of given up the ghost a little bit and been demoralised, but far from it. And I think he'd be very proud of that, David Moyes.
So he will have plenty to say to them at half-time, but a goal will make such a difference to his team talk, as Bradley mentioned. Here's Bowen, and they're right on the edge of the Tottenham penalty area. Jared Bowen has to dart towards the left touchline, lays it off. Masuaku goes back to Declan Rice in the midfield. Rice forward again to Bowen, lovely touch to get it to Cresswell. That was a great bit of skill. Now Masuaku, lovely footwork from him as well, gets it back to Rice again. Rice, always comfortable in possession, gets it as Souček, and now out to Koufal on this right-hand touchline. Closed down by Reguilón, but gets it down the touchline for Souček. Can he pick a cross here? Cuts back onto his left foot to get away from Son, who dived in. Now with Bowen just outside the box, and that's the cross that they didn't require. They had plenty of options getting into the box there, Bradley. 2 or 3 players getting in, but he chips it straight to Lloris. Yeah,
I think he might have produced a better delivery there, Jared Bowen, with his quality. He's got a lovely left foot. It was a routine, straightforward catch, wasn't it, from Hugo Lloris?
Forward towards Kane. Comes off Bonner, I think, in the end. Kane was feeling he was being held, but ball will drop for West Ham in defence, and now Souček will try and bring the ball across the halfway line. Gets it out to Antonio on the left touchline. He will run at Alderweireld, who gets a foot in, and it's out for a throw-in to West Ham, about 15 yards inside the Spurs half on the left. 5 to go to half-time.
Yeah, Spurs have had a fair bit of defending to do here, and that's got to continue. Masuaku in a good position.
Here he is, driving forward. Sissoko's a difficult man to get past, and once again that proves the case. Sissoko gets a foot in, and Spurs will play the ball out towards the halfway line. One back by West Ham, and Rice will play it out towards the left-hand side. Fornals drops a shoulder and moves forward. The Spaniard trying to get away again from Sissoko, but just no way through him. Great foot in, and here come Tottenham, and Sissoko's made a great run down the left. Kane's got 2 options, Son and Sissoko. Sissoko holds it up on the edge of the penalty area, tees it up for Bergwijn, just couldn't get out of his feet. It just rose up on the half volley, and his shot lacked the sort of power he wanted.
Yeah, the support from Sissoko was ever so good there, from not only Kane and Son, but on the right-hand side as he just drifted in. Bergwijn, his first touch actually just maybe was right in the middle of his feet, and he sort of slashed at the half-volleyed attempt. Well wide of the goal. Well,
I thought that was on then for a moment when they came forward, but the one thing with Sissoko, and I watched him break away against Liverpool once upon a time, and Van Dijk just said, you can keep it, I'm going to mark Harry Kane. He let him run all the way with it, and you just don't think that generally he's going to be the one to just run with the ball and then score the goal. He's always looking to try and cut back and maybe look for the pass. He's got a lot of other strings to his bow, don't get me wrong, but on that occasion, once again, he cut back, looked for Bergwijn, didn't quite come off for Spurs, but they still have that 3-0 lead intact. 3 minutes to go. Have you done the skywalk here yet, Bradley, on the top of this?
I was offered the opportunity last week with some of the young Spurs players, but I turned it down because I've not got a head for heights. But they said it was a wonderful experience. Really enjoyed it.
Ball in towards Kane. He tries to, I'm not sure if he tried to cushion that for Son to run onto,
Almost another assist there. Great diagonal pass, good challenge from Ndombele.
Well, he could have actually brought that down and gone for it himself, couldn't he? Or even tried to fire it first time, but he was unselfish. And there's a foul on Souček from Reguilón, and that will be a free kick to West Ham, and that ball was bouncing when he moved it, so the referee will ask him to take that free kick again, and West Ham just have a couple of minutes to try and find something.
I think David Moyes there was just having a word with the 4th official. Ball was out on that far side as well.
Yeah.
Even my eyesight actually could see that. The foul by Reguilon, I think it was on Kufal. Possibly could have been a yellow card. That's what David Moyes was asking.
Ball out to the left here for West Ham, and Antonio is motoring away down that left-hand side, taking on Alderweireld for pace, gets the cross in as well. Sanchez well positioned, and he will clear it out for a throw-in within touching distance of that corner flag, which no doubt will be sprayed at half-time, just in case anyone's touched it. And it will be Masuaku with the throw-in for West Ham, who trail 3-0 with a minute and a half plus added time at the end of this first half. And we thought this could be a difficult one for Tottenham, given the way West Ham have played recently, but Spurs have made such a lightning start. Rice beating Kane on the edge of the box, trying to thread it through to Bowen. It didn't run for him, and then helped back forward by West Ham. Antonio's in an offside position. They were just a bit slow getting back on there, and that will be a free kick to Spurs, and just what they need with about a minute to go in the first half.
Yeah, I think probably Tottenham, even though in scoreline they're cruising here at 3-0 and in a really healthy position, I think he'll still have a few words to say to his players, Jose Mourinho, at half-time, and they probably need the break. They just need, you know, to settle themselves down, because there's been this match, this half, has been played at a real intensity. Super London derby.
Well, Harry Kane on a hat-trick. He's also on 148 goals for Tottenham, Bradley, so too short of raising his bat for 150. Be pretty amazing if he could add another 1 or 2 in this game. He's continuing to set the records. I think he's close to getting up there with Soles in the scoring tables in the Premier League. Former Tottenham striker of great repute, of course, as the ball is played through the middle. Fornals trying to break away, and that's a foul coming in there from Aurier. 2 minutes of added time at the end of this first half, Bradley.
Yeah, another free kick for West Ham. You know, with their brave, courageous attacking play, West Ham have forced some corners. They have earned themselves some free kicks by some challenges by Tottenham players in some good crossing positions. Can they capitalise on that?
Free kick then for the Hammers as we go into that injury time of 2 minutes. West Ham have got a line of players just on the edge of the penalty area. Rice is there, Ogbonna, Balbuena, Souček as well, who's always good in these areas, but it's over the head of him and over Balbuena. Ogbonna will try and keep it in on the touchline for West Ham. Gets there just before the Spurs player, and he'll try and move it back into midfield. And he goes back all the way to Masuaku on the halfway line. 3-0 Spurs lead. Can West Ham get something back right at the end of this first half? It's Masuaku down the left touchline, kept in there by Cresswell, but Tottenham get a foot in, and here goes Spurs on the break, and Son's going to try and feed Harry Kane down the middle, who broke between the two centre-halves, but it didn't reach him. They got a header away, and Spurs leading 3-0. Just looking to try and keep the ball in the West Ham half. Once again, West Ham get a foot in. They will look to try and move the ball clear from midway inside their own half. Declan Rice just waiting for the ball to come back to him, but instead it goes to Balbuena. He will send a raking pass forward towards Antonio. Brilliant control on the chest, and he's floored. Referee might play on here. Fornals gets it on the left-hand side. Back it goes to Masuaku. He can send in a cross here. It's whipped in. Souček misses it. Here's Kufal. Great block at the back from Toby Alderweireld, was it?
Harry Kane.
No, it was Harry Kane. Where isn't he at the moment for Tottenham? He was making a darting run down the middle a moment ago, Bradley. There he is making an unbelievable defensive block. And that is half-time. That's
really unfortunate from a West Ham point of view, but another searing attack from them. And they've played their part in this game, and Jose Mourinho is stepping onto the pitch. He's just going to probably have a little word with Harry Kane, making sure he's all right, giving him a high five for the block.
I think he was worried he was limping slightly, but I think he's fine.
Yeah, but it was some performance from Tottenham, but it's probably not a 3-0 scoreline, actually, if we're being honest about that. Reflection of that first 45 minutes, you know, Tottenham Hotspur in with the attacking verve and the confidence that they've got with forward direction. Their goals have been brilliant, Andy, but West Ham have played their part in this match.
Pretty Bubbles in, yeah. They fly so high.
Remember the glory. From the Academy of Football to the champions of Europe, where our players became giants of the game and changed it forever, wearing our famous claret and blue. 60 years on, we wear the pride, we wear the passion, we wear the history, whilst making our own. Wear the greatness.
Right, you lot, today's a big day because we know West Ham United is all about putting in the hard work, grafting for the bag.
Yes, let's have it!
And you've worked hard. Early starts, late finishes. Oh, I've seen it, Hayward. Tireless, selfless graft. We're not just cooking on the pitch. We're cooking off it too. And you do it all on your own, don't you? Well, not anymore. It's not just about the badge on your shirt. It's about what you wear on your sleeve and what that represents. Because this club don't exist without you. You pillars of the community. You champions of industry. You beautiful business owners. Now get out there and show me what you've got!
Our London, real London, nobody stays a stranger. The Bow Bells, our London calling. More than just a place, the Cockney cool heard far and wide. Graft and dedication, together for the ride. Born here, raised or made here, this is home. Our differences unite us, wherever we may roam. Our spirit strong, our pride runs deep. In our London, it's our dreams we keep. Through highs and lows, we rise and shine. Beyond these streets, the Bow Bells chime.
West Ham United legend Jimmy Walker has got himself in a spot of bother.
Hello, Claret Car Insurance. How can we help?
Company motor's broken down. It's match day.
I know just the company for the job.
NWVA. The fastest, most efficient, cost-effective vehicle assistance company in the UK. Right, Jimmy, let's get into this game, eh?
Nice one, Tom.
NWVA are proud partners of West Ham United.
West Ham out below us, going through their warm-ups just before we get underway in the second half. They're in the claret and blue shirts, white shorts and claret
Doesn't
socks.
appear any changes, Andy, does there?
No. And then Tottenham in the white shirts, blue shorts and white socks. So going into the second half, same teams, Hugo Lloris in goal for Spurs, Serge Aurier, Davinson Sanchez, Toby Alderweireld and Sergio Reguilon. Midfield of Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Moussa Sissoko and Tongai Ndombele. And then Son Heung-min and Steven Bergwijn, either side of Harry Kane, who's on a hat-trick. As for West Ham, Lucas Fabianski in goal, a back three of Fabian Balbuena, Angelo Ogbonna and Aaron Cresswell. Vladimir Koufal down the right, Arthur Masuaku down the left. Declan Rice and Thomas Souček in the middle, and then Jared Bowen and Pablo Fornals getting up forward in support of Mikel Antonio. On the bench for Spurs, Joe Hart, Matt Doherty, Harry Winks, Gareth Bale, Lucas Moura, Ben Davies and Carlos Vinicius. And for West Ham, Andrei Yarmolenko, Manuel Lanzini, Robert Snodgrass, Mark Noble, Issa Diop, Ryan Fredericks and Darren Randolph. Off we go again then for the second half, and it's Spurs in possession at the back with Alderweireld looking to move it out towards the right-hand side to Aurier, and he will play it through left-footed to Ndombele. Has to go back towards his goalkeeper Hugo Lloris, and the World Cup winner will play it out towards Sanchez on the left-hand side of the defence. That's a bit sloppy, and it's gone to Souček. Gets it forward towards Bowen. Bowen was trying to lay that off to Kufal, but he didn't find him because Tottenham got a foot in. Son then dispossessed in midfield. Declan Rice trying to get the ball forward, slips. Sissoko will get in there before Souček, then he's pulled back, and that will be a free kick to Spurs. So 50 seconds gone in the second half. I had to be on my mettle there, Bradley, because 50 seconds into the first half, they'd already scored, hadn't they, Tom?
Well, I think they're going to show a willingness to try and engage and press here, West Ham, but if they do, you know, push up too much, you certainly feel that Tottenham will get further chances here if they choose to combine, play forward, play over and through, which they did so impressively in that first period.
7-match unbeaten run coming into this game for Spurs. 5 wins, 2 draws as Bergwijn controls that ball up front, lays it back into the midfield area. Sissoko to Ndombele, who's showing just how quickly you can turn things around under Jose Mourinho if you knuckle down, do what he wants, because he's enjoying a run in that midfield area for Spurs now. Ndombele, after the big money transfer. And up the left will come West Ham. Back from Masuaku to Cresswell, flicks it forward towards Antonio, chests it down, looking for Masuaku, then a foot in from Spurs. It'll be a throw-in to the Hammers. Bowen's trying to make a dart in behind here. Alderweireld was watchful of that one, and it's played away by Aurier down the right, gives it straight back to West Ham. Antonio leaves it for Masuaku, and he will run at the Tottenham defence. Aurier gets a foot in, and it runs for Bowen, edge of the penalty area. Antonio goes into the centre forward sort of area, into the penalty area. Bowen moves it back towards the halfway line. Balbuena in between the lines towards Souček. He'll go down the right touchline to Kufal. Kufal, little step over onto his left foot, gets it back to Souček. Souček might think of a shot here. No, goes back to Declan Rice, 25 yards out. He moves it out to the right-hand side. In comes the cross, flicks off a Tottenham defender. Souček didn't get his feet right, and then Masuaku blasts it over and wide, and that's rare that Souček doesn't get it right in that sort of area of the pitch.
Round of applause from the West Ham coaching staff standing in the technical area. Good switch of play again. You know, Kufal is a fullback that's coming into the side, one of their new signings, advancing, delivery coming. Might have led with the wrong foot there, Sissoko, as he tried to clear from the near post. It coming through to Masuaku, and on the half volley, he just drilled his shot up and over the crossbar.
The voice of Bradley Allen, the former Premier League striker, alongside me, Andy Rowley, here at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where it's Spurs leading West Ham by 3-0 at the start of this second half. 3 minutes gone of the second period. Will be a throw into Spurs on the right-hand side. Chance to go second in the Premier League table. Everton and Liverpool have made good starts. Of course, Aston Villa, 100% record. As they head to Leicester this evening, Bradley, they could still move on to 12 points this evening. Under Dean Smith, here goes Masuaku trying to break forward. It comes off a Tottenham player for Souček, who moves it out to Kufal on the right-hand side. Kufal on the turn, moves it back in field to Declan Rice. Rice to Kufal, back to Balbuena, who moves it across the back to Ogbonna. Cresswell again. He will go back to Ogbonna in the heart of defence. West Ham confident in this 11, the way they've been playing in recent weeks. And no Haller on the bench this afternoon as Antonio breaks away down the left-hand touchline. He'll see Alderweireld backpedaling, gets a shot away, that could be headed into the back post, and Fornals has put it over the bar. He would have been offside. Wow. But how has he not put that in?
The flag didn't go up by the assistant on the far right-hand side. Brilliant from Antonio, just sort of dancing away from Alderweireld into the 18-yard box. His shot went through the legs, it took a wicked deflection, it spun up, and he's drifted in. And because the ball was on the rise, and it come through to Fornals ever so quickly, he couldn't head it down. Should have been a goal. You might be right, Andy, it might have been flagged out, that one.
Well, I'm not sure, but
head in hands to David Moyes. Great chance.
Yeah, they'd done everything right up to then. In fact, they've started the second half really well, haven't they, Bradley, West Ham? Tottenham win it back on the halfway line. Maybe a chance for a first attack of the second half for them. Into feet to Bergwijn. It just sort of runs away from him, and it'll be picked up by Masuaku now with Ogbonna in a midfield area. Plays it back to Souček, and he creates a bit of space with just a step backwards before moving it out to the right to his countryman Kufal. Masuaku foul, plays it down the line for Bowen. Bowen on that left foot of his, gets away from Reguilon, who's causing a bit of trouble for West Ham down that side of the pitch. Højbjerg also coming in to make that tackle, and then Masuaku playing it back to Cresswell. Rice plays it to Balbuena in the heart of the West Ham defence. Now out to the right-hand side to Bowen. And Balbuena to Ogbonna. 51 on the clock. Tottenham leading West Ham by 3-0. 7 goals unanswered in their last 2 games in the league, West Ham, but this a very different story here this afternoon. They'd also only conceded 4 in the Premier League season up to this point, so that was a real shock.
Yeah, after a sluggish start in that Newcastle game, as we mentioned, you know, they've really improved, and I think they've played okay today.
Tottenham trying to come forward with Ndombele, just beyond Harry Kane with his pass, and West Ham will try and come away with Souček. Closed down by Højbjerg, who wins that all too easily, gets it to Son. Son tries to flick it through the legs of Balbuena, still going Son, good tackle by Ogbonna. Then Kane picking it up 25 yards from goal onto his left foot. He's blasted that wide and over, and it will be a goal kick to West Ham, 3-0 to Tottenham. Yeah, it might have been a foul there. Good pinch of the ball from Højbjerg. Looks a bit tired actually, Souček. He would have had to fulfil some international football midweek for Czech Republic. And there might have been contact there on Son, just on the edge of the box. He was trying to manoeuvre a shooting opportunity. Bowen on the attack for West Ham, 30 yards from goal, moves it out towards the left to Masuaku, closed down by Aurier, but gets past him easily, plays it down the line for Cresswell, in comes the cross, Alderweireld, well done, headed away and behind at the near post, and it will be a corner to West Ham. Still going for it, West Ham, still pushing players forward in the wide areas. Lovely 2v1 created as he just took the first touch inside there. Masuaku, cross coming from Cresswell, good defending from Alderweireld. Corner kick for West Ham. Here it goes then, left-footed delivery from the left-hand side for West Ham. It will be Cresswell to send it in. West Ham buzzing around in the penalty area. Here it comes towards the far post, over the head of Ogbonna, headed away at the back by Tottenham. Masuaku, really lively, left-footed shot, good block, and it comes out to Cresswell, edge of the penalty area. Really good start to this second half from West Ham. Masuaku's been really busy and up for it, and then West Ham in the end have to go all the way back to their goalkeeper. Son, 30-yard burst to try and close down the goalkeeper before Fabianski sends it forward. That might turn into a great ball. Headed in field, up in the air off the Tottenham defender as Souček tried to latch onto that. Yeah, good long pass from Fabianski. He just misjudged the flight of the ball there as it travelled, and the trajectory did Reguilon. And from the second ball, West Ham pressed in as it dropped edge of the box. I think Souček challenged Alderweireld, and the Belgium international toe-ended it out. Another corner. Good spell here for West Ham. They've been very good in this second half. Here it comes then from the right-hand side for West Ham. Bowen waiting, they're all in a line on the goal line as they now move for the corner taker, headed away by Kane inside his own 6-yard box. So valuable in so many areas, Harry Kane, as the ball is clipped into the box and headed away again at the back by Spurs. Good touch by Fornals to get it away from Bergwijn, and he'll send it down the right touch line, and here come West Ham again. Bowen on the left foot, chips it in, Souček's there, and another great block from Sanchez at the back for Tottenham. Yeah, they've had to do an awful lot of defending. What a pass that is from Sanchez. And here goes Son, breaking away. Bowen's had to go all the way back with him, tracking him all the way, and here comes Ndombele. He's got Bergwijn just ahead of him, runs the ball out towards the left-hand touch line as it comes off a West Ham player. And Harry Kane still trying to make up the yards to join in this attack, having been back in his own 6-yard box to get that headed clearance in. Reguilon plays it up the left, Tottenham just slowing it down. Yeah, just a breather for Tottenham, sensible. They needed it because the momentum was certainly with the visitors. Tottenham won both games against West Ham last season. They won 3-2 at London Stadium. It was Mourinho's first game in charge, actually, that one, and won 2-0 here at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium after the restart. Kane with a late goal that settled that one after a Souček own goal. Declan Rice threading a ball through the middle, and this is Bowen trying to get away from Reguilon. He's got great pace, Reguilon, and he's shoulder to shoulder. That's a foul. David Moyes is barking at the referee. Definite foul, I think. 1v1. And would he have gone for that, maybe?
He's the last man, and West Ham are in again.
Antonio, left-hand side, cuts it back onto his right foot, then tries to break away from Sanchez. He's been closed down by Ndombele and Sanchez here in the end. They get the better of him, Antonio, and a rather tired foul. It goes out for a throw-in. I don't think it was a foul, in fact. And it will be a throw into West Ham. And credit to the Hammers. They have really come at Tottenham.
Look, he's towed the ball away and he's lent into Bowen now. Definite contact. Should have been a free kick. He's going away from goal. I think it would have been a yellow card there.
Yeah.
On Reguilon.
But
defenders cover him round.
Because he's got such pace, I think he thought he was going to get there before Bowen took that touch.
Bowen, quite rightly, is frustrated with the referee's decision.
He just nudged it just before because he knew he was coming, I think, didn't he? So he knew that he was going to get the foul and then didn't get it. Headed away by Alderweireld, the throw-in, and it will be another throw-in for Masuaku. Level with the edge of the 6-yard box in the Tottenham half. 3-0 Spurs lead after that scintillating start they had in the first half, but it's been very much West Ham at the start of this second period. They've been pushing Tottenham back. Harry Kane doing most of his work in the Spurs penalty area.
Yeah, rightly so.
Then they spotted it, as Bradley did. And it's a throw
1 foot raised there from Masuaku.
So it's 3-0, but West Ham will be mightily encouraged by the way they've started this second half.
I think for 15-20 minutes in the first half.
Yeah.
We mentioned it, I know. Some West Ham fans listening, 3-0 down, what are you talking about? But West Ham have been okay.
Yeah.
Tottenham have had a lot of defending to do in this match.
But I think a lot of opponents might feel that way against this Tottenham side this season, because if they can score in those sort of, the few attacks that they sometimes have, because they're so clinical, that's going to be so demoralising for opponents.
And maybe that'll be David Moyes' frustration post-game, conceding within 45 seconds to Son's goal, because then Spurs just built upon that.
Well, Tottenham have got this good record at the moment in London derbies.
That's the dilemma you wrestle with, Andy, isn't it, as a manager? Your approach, how you go about it, from a tactical point of view. We've seen many a West Ham team play at White Hart Lane, and when they won here, when Antonio scored the first victory for an away side in this new stadium, park the bus and barely have an attack, and West Ham won that day.
Yeah.
West Ham have probably played better today in that game.
I would agree, and that's the like you say, Bradley. I mean, sometimes in football it does look a little strange, because they basically pressed Tottenham in the same way that they did at Leicester, and they got away with a 3-0 win that day. So that's why they were sort of looking to get on the front foot early in this game, maybe West Ham, and press Tottenham in their half. But Son picked them off so early, and then with Harry Kane's 2 goals, now it looks like a mountain to climb. But they've certainly started to try and tackle that mountain in this second half, as Rice gets a foot in, runs for Son though, and he will take the ball back onto the front foot for Spurs. Gets it out Aurier. Now Sissoko coming forward in the midfield with those 2 white wristbands that he wears. In comes the ball from Aurier, cleared away by Ogbonna inside the West Ham penalty area. Balls for Son, who just nudged Souček out of the way to get to that goal before him. Then it comes out to Aurier on the right-hand side, away from Masuaku. His cross too close to the goalkeeper, and Fabianski will be able to send this ball upfield. As I mentioned, only 3 defeats in their last 27 home London derbies for Tottenham in the Premier League. That's a completely different scenario really to about 10 years ago, Bradley, when we used to see them lose regularly against Arsenal and Chelsea. It's just not the same thing anymore, is it?
Absolutely. And that's important. That's important if you're going to be, contenders. It was something that, Arsene Wenger always used to say for any London side to challenge top 4 or for the Premier League title. The London derbies that you have to face and encounter, never easy.
Top scorers in the division now with, that ball straight across the 6-yard box. I think Lloris gave his defender Sanchez a very good shout there, because Sanchez left it and he caught it. Lloris on the edge of his 6-yard box.
A few Spurs players warming up. I think it's Ben Davis, own signing, Vinicius and Gareth Bale as well.
Yeah. Doing some high kicks along the touchline. The Welsh international is the England international Harry Kane. Moving it out to the left of Reguilon. He'll go back in field to Højbjerg. Højbjerg, who was on the winning side against Harry Kane in England in the week. Sissoko going all the way back to his goalkeeper, of course, Christian Eriksen. involved in that game as well. Kane, lovely flick on, looking for Son. Ogbonna was there, knew that was coming, and clipped it out to the right towards Kufal. Kufal plays it down the line, didn't quite find Souček, but they battle away and managed to win the ball back against Ndombele. Good header away by Alderweireld. He's looked very assured this afternoon. Now Kane coming forward, driving at the West Ham defence. He's on a hat-trick. Kane, good save by Fabianski. Down to his right, pushes it away and behind for a Spurs corner. Yeah, he used the attacking runs in front of him from both Son and Bergwijn very well there. Harry Kane drove at the heart of the West Ham defence. Low shot, crisp drive. Decent save away to his right-hand side there, down at the near post from Fabianski. So it will be a corner from the left for Son to take for Spurs. 61 minutes on the clock here. There was a definite reaction from West Ham at the start of this second half. Maybe Tottenham will feel they've just ridden it out somewhat and they can try and get back on the front foot themselves, but a really good reaction from the Hammers. But now they've got defending to do, and it's Tottenham so dangerous whenever they get in this area of the field. Son with the corner in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Great header away by Souček, who, as Bradley mentioned, is a really good man in the air for West Ham. He's about 6'3", I think. In comes the ball at the other end of Balbuena. Great delivery from Son, good defending from Balbuena. He was backpedaling, and Spurs played out to the left-hand side. In-swinger from Son, just glanced it off his head. Sanchez and Harry Kane were bearing down on that one. And it probably would have been a simple, easy header for either of those two if it picked them out. So the ball will come across towards the near side for the corner from the right-hand side for Spurs. It'll be a left-footed delivery from Reguilon. And Spurs have Sissoko in there, Son, Alderweireld, Kane as well, and it goes and it's headed away by Ogbonna. Out it comes towards Ndombele. Good brave header from Declan Rice to get there before. Yeah, it might have been a foul as Ndombele jumps. He's missed a couple of them, I think, the referee in this second half. A few in the favour, perhaps, that should have gone to West Ham. So the ball is going to be left for a throw-in for Reguilon. He didn't give it, the referee. Whether he missed it or just didn't decide to give it. And it will be Spurs to play it back into their own half. Here's Aurier moving it back in field. They had an option there as well, of course, with Matt Doherty. Bradley, I know Aurier played very well at Old Trafford, but you know, every position almost you look now and you think there's an amazing competition. It certainly is. And there's another area of the field where they've got that now as the ball is played in by Son towards Harry Kane, lays it back to Ndombele. He will move it back into Højbjerg in midfield. Ndombele signed for all that money from Lyon. And difficult start to his career at Tottenham, but as I mentioned, now looks like he's really getting a chance to prove himself. Son has spotted a great run from Ndombele in behind and played a really brilliant pass to pick him out. Now Ndombele into the box, tried to play it in, it was off the foot of Kufal, and it runs to Højbjerg. Højbjerg up the left touch line, he's tried his best there. Difficult area of the field to get away there because there were West Ham players all around him, and in the end it's gone off Højbjerg for a throw-in to West Ham. 3-0 to Tottenham, 64 on the clock. Yeah, Bowen, Kufal between them, just 2v1 Højbjerg there, and the ricochet came off the Danish midfielder out for a throw-in. Just that effort and endeavour that West Ham showed in the first 10-15 minutes of the second half. It's just sort of ebbed away a little bit, and Spurs have now got them where they want them in their half of the pitch. Ball is played off I suspect some changes fairly soon, actually, Andy. I think some substitutes will be introduced from the bench, most certainly. Yeah, there's bound to be some incredibly tired legs out there, especially for players who've been playing the internationals on top of what they've done this afternoon. Declan Rice seems to have boundless energy, even played in the League Cup game at Everton for West Ham when most of the others were rested, in fact all of the others. Ball up the right from Fornals, now back to Rice again, and he's going to send a wonderful raking pass out to Masuaku on the left. What a pass that was. Masuaku tees up Cresswell, left-footed cross from Cresswell, and plucked out of the air by Lloris. Yeah, good goalkeeping and start position from Hugo Lloris. But the switch of play throughout this game, when West Ham have had their possession, has been good, and a few half-decent deliveries into the box as well, from either Kufal or Cresswell. Masuaku, when they've pushed
more notably down the left-hand side of the pitch, West Ham.
The voice of Bradley Allen. You're listening to BBC Radio London Sport on digital and online here, live from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where Spurs raced into a 3-0 lead and still hold that scoreline over their rivals West Ham. Ball back to Ogbonna. And now across the back. As I say, only 3 of the last 27 home London derbies in the Premier League for Tottenham have been defeats, but one of those did come to West Ham in that game when Antonio scored to become to make West Ham the first away team to win at this new stadium. But haven't looked like being on the losing side this afternoon, despite how West Ham have played pretty well since going 3-0 down. Son, here comes across for Kane, edge of the penalty area, can pick his spot here, good block by Balbuena, comes back to Kane and then Balbuena completes the clearance. Headed forward again by Sanchez for Spurs. No Spurs players got to that, and Jose Mourinho is looking much more energised now, Bradley, as you say. I think they're...
Well, he wants a clean sheet. You know, that incredibly high standards he set himself, and I think he would, you know, be delighted again with the Tottenham performance and the 3 goals that they've currently earned and scored themselves and the way that they've been taken. But he still knows that there's still a bit of work to do here.
Here they come, West Ham. Bowen, edge of the penalty area, lays it off for Declan Rice. He's going to move it on towards the right to Kufal. Kufal up the line for Bowen. Bowen chips it in right-footed. It's over the head of Højbjerg. Someone did get a flick on that as it comes out towards Cresswell. His cross is blocked by Son. And here's Harry Kane trying to lay it off for Son as they spring a counter-attack Spurs. Son will play it for Kane on the halfway line. He continues his run, Son. They're just playing a game between the two of them here. He's into the penalty area, lays it across for Bergwijn to try and run onto. They almost got another one there.
Brilliant. Just on the same wavelength, aren't they?
Yeah.
Every time that they receive the pass, the others linking, moving, running, zigzagging down the pitch. Almost telepathic.
Yeah, ball out to the left to Masuaku. They continue to keep coming, West Ham. Antonio on the left touch line. He will not be able to get away down that left touch line. No midweek game coming up for West Ham, so they can almost afford to keep going at this game, even though it's probably been
absolutely, and they didn't actually within their squad lose too many players in the international break, so I think that's why their energy levels are being maintained here,
and that's why they might be even more frustrated with that start than
absolutely.
Yeah, because they've had that time to work with them.
I think in scoreline, if this game would have been just 1-0 Tottenham, 2-1 Tottenham, I think West Ham could have still earned themselves at least a point here.
The way they played, yeah, in this second half in particular, if this was tight, you'd still be nervous as a Tottenham fan for definite. Fornals plays it out towards the right. Kufal's going to try and hit the cross back first time. He did make a good connection on that. Wasn't easy, and he managed to get it back into the penalty area. It runs for Fornals in the end, and he lays it off for Declan Rice. Now Masuaku with a cross. Alderweireld, great header away again. He's played well, hasn't he, today?
Yeah,
Toby?
uses experience, his positioning, clearing his lines, heading, volleying the ball away at the right moment.
Well, played in by West Ham, comes of a Tottenham man, and it will be a corner for the Hammers from the left-hand side. Pretty mild evening in North London this evening, 21 minutes to go, and it's not really too cold. And now we've reached mid-October, and here comes the corner from Cresswell on this left-hand side. West Ham players in the penalty area. Souček comes towards the near post, so does Declan Rice. It's headed away just before they can reach it. Now comes all the way to Masuaku. His cross comes off Ndombele, and that will be another corner of West Ham.
Yeah, those deliveries have been pretty good from West Ham into areas, quite searching. As we mentioned, the concentration on the clearance from a number of the Tottenham players has had to be on point. A couple of changes maybe here for Spurs. Winks and a certain number 9 looks like he's getting readied.
Here comes the corner for West Ham. It runs all the way across the penalty area, and Reguilon should be able to clear for Spurs. Upfield it goes towards Bergwijn. doesn't quite reach him, but now it drops for Son, and he'll play it in front of Harry Kane, who will leave it for Reguilon. Reguilon on the attack. He's got Kane in support out on that left touchline. Kane, rather than being right in that penalty area where you'd often think he'd be, he's dropping into all sorts of positions to link the play for Spurs, and it's proving a massive problem for opponents this season. As Bradley mentioned, it's now 7 assists for Harry Kane at the start of this season. And there he is, Gareth Bale, ready to come on for Spurs with Harry Winks on the touchline. That's a crunching challenge from Ogbonna.
Clumsy.
And that sees Bergwijn lying on the floor. I wonder if he'll be the one that makes way here, Bergwijn. He's certainly been given a few.
He'll be disappointed, won't he? Because he's worked hard and just been booted up in the air by Ogbonna, and that's the end of
that's him.
your 71 minutes work.
Well, yeah, Bergwijn comes off. Signed last season when they were desperate for some attacking reinforcements. Now he's got an abundance of attacking players that he can call upon.
Well, we don't know the numbers, Andy, do we? 60 people maybe here to welcome the return of Gareth Bale of Bergwijn. Can you imagine if there's 60,000 inside this stadium?
Here he comes. Gareth Bale is a Tottenham player on the pitch once again, wearing the number 9 shirt, and the man who's been away at Real Madrid, winning all sorts of titles in the last 7 years, has returned to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And his first action in a Tottenham shirt, Bradley, is going to take this free kick. I don't think anyone else on the pitch thought they might take this. He's marched straight towards it, and it's about 35 yards out. Surely not. Gareth Bale steps up, hits it, and it's too close to the goalkeeper. He doesn't get that perfect moment back in the Spurs shirt, but what a moment that is for Tottenham fans, wherever they may be, to think of Gareth Bale here back in a Tottenham shirt in North London in the Premier League. And what can he do in the last 18 minutes plus added time here?
Winks is on as well, actually.
I was going to say, yeah, I should mention that. He's on in midfield.
And Ndombele, I think it is.
That's right, yeah. So here comes Antonio towards the byline, and Winks actually shielded
Done
that
well
ball
there,
out.
Winks. Just got across the line of Antonio just as he was angling inside the 18-yard box and heading towards the byline to cross from a dangerous position. But the ball was overrun. Spurs goal kick.
So closing stages here now. Tottenham haven't won 3 Premier League games in a row against West Ham since 2009, which does show what you were saying to me when we came in, Bradley, that they
a bit of a bogey team.
Be a thorn in the side, can't they? Yeah. As the ball is played up towards the halfway line, Aurier leaps for it, heads it on. Kane will chase this. Ogbonna's gone with him. He gets a stride on Ogbonna, gets to the byline, cuts back onto his left foot here. Kane swings the ball across to the edge of the penalty area. Højbjerg leans in to control that, tries to get it back to Son, and then West Ham get a foot in, and it runs for Pablo Fornals, and he'll bring the ball away. Sends it to Declan Rice on the right touchline. Across the halfway line come the Hammers, and now Bowen trying to get away. Good foot in from Sanchez, and it will be a throw-in to Spurs, actually, I think.
Yeah,
West Ham
I think
player last.
maybe Sanchez just ricocheted it off of Bowen there. Lanzini for West Ham.
Manuel Lanzini being readied. 11 goals in 11 Premier League games for Harry Kane against West Ham. Bradley, that's his best record against any opponent apart from Leicester. I think he scored a bundle against Leicester on the last day of the season once, didn't he? I think with 4 goals or something, or maybe even more. Sanchez intercepts at the back, gets the ball away, and now moved forward. He's managed 10 against Arsenal, so pretty good record against them, 10 against Southampton, but yeah, saves them up for West Ham as well, as the ball is played back to the goalkeeper, Fabianski.
Maybe Yarmolenko as well. I think Son is actually, with his unbelievable running stats this afternoon, looking on 75 minutes a bit tired as well.
Yeah, the thing is, he never
Maybe
stops,
more,
does he,
perhaps,
during the game?
The Spurs fans might get to see Vinicius, the new signing.
We'll wait and see on that one, as the ball is played to Sissoko. Lays it back in the midfield to Winks. Here he is, Kane again. looking to try and play this ball through the middle. Chasing it was Gareth Bale, and that will run beyond him all the way through to Fabianski. When Kane's playing those sort of passes through and you've got Bale and Son in a foot race to try and reach it, Bradley, that's danger. Antonio, edge of the penalty area at the other end of the pitch, trying to chip it to a teammate, headed away by Sissoko on the edge of the penalty area. Then Bale tries to head it to a teammate, doesn't run all the way to Harry Kane, but he manages to win it back anyway. Now trying to get away from Koufal on that left-hand side. Still going Kane. Souček comes across. There's two Czech players trying to check that run, and they managed to do so in the end, but pretty crudely, and it's a foul and a free kick to Spurs.
Yeah, just having a well-earned rest there, isn't he?
Souček.
Harry Kane just drew the challenge in. There's certainly some tired players here on the pitch. I'm not surprised the distances the players have been, expected to have run this afternoon, and just probably resting Antonio up here. David Moyes, smart move from him. Fornals as well. Yarmolenko, Lanzini on.
It's a yellow card, by the way, for Souček for that challenge on Kane. And there are the changes. Fornals and Antonio come off, and Lanzini and Yarmolenko will come on. And it looks like Bowen's going into the centre of the front three. Although without Haller, I was wondering how they were going to work that. And he looks over to the touchline as if to say, how do you want to work this? And that is the way they're going to do it. And Tottenham coming forward here with Son. Breaks away from the first tackle, continues his run, tries to play it to Gareth Bale, picked off just in front of him, and West Ham will get the ball away to Masuaku. Now Rice, closed down by Aurier, who never gives you a moment peace when he's trying to win the ball back like that, and he manages to close down Declan Rice. In the end, gives away a free kick, and it will be West Ham's opportunity to clear with 12.5 minutes to go plus added time here. You're listening to BBC Radio London Sport on digital and online, and it's Tottenham 3, West Ham 0. So just getting some news in, Bradley. Virgil van Dijk, that knee injury, it's ACL damage. They haven't set the time for how long he'll be out, but that will be a lengthy one, won't it?
You would expect so if there's going to be surgery required there for the Dutch and Liverpool defender, and with him being such a huge player for them in recent seasons, and the level that he's elevated them to, his leadership, presence within the heart of the Liverpool defence. It's a massive loss to Liverpool.
Yeah, surgery will not be immediate. It's yet to be arranged, and they say while it'd be speculative to say his season's over, saying he's hopeful to return this season is also wide of the mark. Here's Kane, left-footed, off the outside of the post, and he has his head in his hands. It was a brilliant set there, with the front three all combining together, and Kane with a left-footed curling shot sees it come off the outside of the post.
Brilliant again from Son, just rolled the ball across the pitch, and as he ran onto it, he knew that there was pace on the pass. Did Harry Kane, he swept it goal-bound, Fabianski beaten, width of the post. Lucas Moura to come on.
Son used the run of Bale to actually disguise the pass of
he obviously drew more defenders, and Son was aware of the bit of space and support from Harry Kane that was developing.
So do you think it will be Son coming off with Kane on a hat-trick, or Son looked the more tired, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it will be Son on
Lucas
80
Moura.
minutes here that will be replaced.
The Brazilian Lucas Moura about to come on. Here's Masuaku playing it forward, left-footed, cleared away by Sanchez, but falls for Lanzini. Edge of the box flag was up against West Ham. Free kick to Spurs, and here comes the change, and it is Son Heung-min who got us underway with the goals in this game this evening. Who will make way. And Lucas Moura will come on, and it means we'll have to wait to see Vinicius.
Brilliant performance from Son. I think he just improves every season in a Tottenham shirt, and I would actually say he's approaching the peak of his career, Andy.
Yeah.
A huge player in this Tottenham squad currently. Jose Mourinho will be delighted to have his services.
Bradley, only a few players have managed to net more than 6 in their first 5 Premier League games of the season. Son's now netted 7. Those players were Wayne Rooney, who managed to score 9 in his first 5 games in 2011, 2012. Aguero's done it twice, Tammy Abraham last season, and Diego Costa for Chelsea. But only those 4 have managed what he's done in those opening 5 games of the season. Another goal for him this afternoon as Kane clips the ball up in the air because that was a foul on West Ham's Thomas Souček.
I think David Moyes will be pleased. You know, there's been no goals conceded here in the second half. That certainly would have been, you know, something that he would have set the players at half-time. You know, there was an encouragement to go forward and try and get the 4th goal in the game and get it to 3-1 and make it interesting. There's plenty to work on here from West Ham, as their recent form has shown. No fear for me that they'll be in a relegation scrap this season. I think with Ben Rama still to come in, a talent here. You mentioned Haller, who I think will you know, challenge Antonio and give West Ham, you know, maybe a 2-pronged attack and different options of formation over the coming weeks and months. I think the West Ham fans can be optimistic.
Still got a few games in this run though that look pretty tough, but as you've said, Bradley, the way they played against Wolves and Leicester, and at times in this game as well, they should still have plenty of confidence in their ranks, you would think. It's Cresswell with a free kick here for West Ham. 8 minutes plus added time to go. Here it comes, floated in towards the back post. Header is in from Balbuena, who gets the applause from his teammates. Good header.
That's deserved.
And West Ham back in this game, potentially against Tottenham, although still with 2 more to get to try and get a draw. But they have worked hard for that, and they do deserve something from this, you feel, and they've got their goal. Balbuena with the header at the back post from an excellent free kick. It's Tottenham 3, West Ham 1.
Well, they've just had too many attacking goes, West Ham, not to get on the scoreboard this afternoon. It's a great header, brilliant free kick from set plays. They've been dangerous all evening of West Ham, and 3-1. Maybe, as we said at the start of the second half, they would have had time here, West Ham, maybe to remarkably salvage something from this. You never know, there still is a little bit of time. Spurs have to be a little bit careful here.
I think he beat Sissoko at that back post there, Balbuena, to score that headed goal. And
that'll upset Jose Mourinho, I'm certain.
I think it was Cresswell with the free kick, wasn't it?
Good delivery.
Yeah, he set up 2 at Leicester, so another good delivery from him. Declan Rice in the centre circle. Plays it into Lanzini. Lanzini chips it forward. It's too far for Bowen to try and latch onto. And it will be out for a goal kick. Tottenham won't be in a hurry to take it. 7 minutes to go plus added time. Tottenham 3, West Ham 1.
Yeah, no surprise. You know, Hugo Lloris is just sort of taking his time here, getting the ball, restarting the game.
Tottenham haven't scored more than 12 in their first 5 league games since 1965-66. They scored 15 in their first 5 that season. Well, that's what they're on now as well. Top scorers in the Premier League. And you wonder just how many they're actually going to score this season with the rich attacking prowess they have at their disposal. It's chipped forward towards Bowen to chase, headed away by Sanchez at the back. Played back by Sissoko towards Alderweireld. His clearance cannons off Lanzini, then heads it away to Rice at the edge of the box. Rice tries to get it forward towards Lanzini. He can't quite get to it, and it's cleared away by Sissoko. Takes a deflection and runs for Masuaku. He's going to play it across to Souček, now out to Kufal on the right-hand side. Good run by Yarmolenko, darts into the penalty area, now back out of it again onto his left foot, looking to try and get a cross in, or maybe playing a teammate. Great pass to Kufal, drives into the penalty area, off the defender, Sanchez, own goal, and West Ham are right back in it. 3-2 with 6 minutes to go. Sanchez distraught there, and what on earth is going on here? Tottenham 3-0 up in 15 minutes or so. It's now Tottenham 3, West Ham 2 with 6 to go.
Well, a few bemused listeners amongst the West Ham fans. We both said West Ham were good going forward in the first half. They more than deserved that in this second half. They haven't stopped running, playing forward, passing forward, getting the ball into the box. We said that Tottenham have had an awful lot of defending to do. They've worked the wide areas really well. Crosses deliveries have been good into the danger area. and they get a slice of luck there with the deflection. 3-2. This is game on. This is far from over, and there's going to be plenty of minutes in injury time as well.
Just to let you know about that Kufal cross, it was one of those that was so difficult for a defender to know what to do, because Sanchez would have known there was a West Ham player behind him. He leaned into it, he's nodded it into his own net.
But on both flanks, you know, the advancement of Kufal, the advancement of Masuaku on this left-hand side, sometimes Cresswell, round the back of the Tottenham defence, putting them under pressure, getting bodies in the box.
Yarmolenko felt he was fouled there by Højbjerg. It's not given, and Kane will try and bring the ball away for Spurs. Holds on to it with West Ham players all around him, gets it back to his defender Reguilón. Into Kane again, lays it back into Harry Winks in the midfield area, and he finds Sissoko in some space. 4 minutes plus added time for Tottenham to try and see out this victory, or for West Ham to try and find a late equaliser. Aurier trying to come up the pitch. Maybe they'll get another one to put it beyond West Ham here. Aurier sends it into Masuaku. It's cannoned off him, and it's behind for a corner to Spurs.
I think one thing with his vast experience, Jose Mourinho will pause for thought in terms of reviewing this game. Is we can't require 3 or 4 goals to win a Premier League match every week. Great for the fans, but you know, Tottenham, I think, have to, you know, still improve in terms of their management in matches when they're in favourable positions.
This is what I was going to say. That Newcastle game, they dominated that game and they ended up drawing it. They just will not want Lightning to strike twice. Bale with the corner, sends it in just beyond the head of Sanchez and caught by Fabianski. And West Ham has 3 minutes plus added time to try and find an equaliser, which looked
could have launched it there,
unlikely.
Fabianski. He only really had Bowen up in attack because West Ham chose to bring a lot of players back from the set play. Long pass from
Balbuena. No one was running for that. Lloris has to come and get it though from just outside his penalty area. Bowen closes him down, and Lloris will take his time before sending this ball upfield. The referee has a look at him, and then Lloris boots it up towards Kane, flicks it on looking for Bale. It's another moment where the understanding will come. They both sort of went for the same ball there, and Bale could have probably moved a bit further away because Kane wins so many of those flick-ons. Could have taken a chance. In the end, it runs through to Fabianski. Just over 2
Well, they're going to
minutes.
twist again, I think, West Ham. They're getting Snodgrass ready to come on.
Masuaku plays that through to Ogbonna across the middle at the back. Cleared away by Sissoko as Ogbonna sends the ball forward. Now Lanzini's going to win this against Aurier. Aurier's at his back. Lanzini was clipped there. Referee says play on. Lanzini tries to continue. There's no advantage, so he will have the free kick.
Did well there, the referee allowed advantage. He was stumbling a little bit under contact, Lanzini.
Why is Aurier not just let him go there when he's running into traffic?
But the thing is, with the challenge that's been made, it puts Tottenham approaching the 90th minute under more pressure here from another free kick. They've took it quickly, clever from West Ham, really bright here.
He's hoping for the overlap from Cresswell. Cresswell's cross comes in, controlled into the box, and Bowen's shot is blocked by Alderweireld, and they'll come away with Lucas Moura. And the substitute will eventually win a free kick by playing it
they're
forward
not happy
and
with
then
that.
running into
West Ham.
Masuaku.
He played for that Moura, possibly. It's a yellow card against the West Ham number 26. Snodgrass to come on. They might choose to bring Masuaku off, actually.
It seems a harsh one to get a booking for that, Bradley.
Yeah, he almost run into him, really, as he tried to knock it forward into the space there, Moura. And it is Masuaku to come off.
Yeah. I thought he's had a good game in many respects.
He's crossed the ball really well. A couple of times he's dribbled, run with it with quality, took players on.
But you do know that Snodgrass is another guy who can find that either killer pass or his shot technique is excellent. Might be just what they need at the end of this. As Kane jumps with the defender Cresswell. They both fall in a heap. I think Kane was hoping to try and get the free kick for that one. It was not given by the assistant, and in fact it went against Kane as he looked at Cresswell and leant into him. And it will be West Ham to try and play it forward. 6 seconds plus added time, and we're about to find out what that added time will be at the end of this one. It's going to be 4 minutes at the end of this game for Tottenham to try and get this win that looked absolutely gift-wrapped by 15 minutes into the game, but it looks like West Ham might have one more chance to try and get a point out of the game. 4 minutes of added time now that we're in. Bale lays the ball off to Sissoko. Sissoko driving forward through the centre circle. Keeps the ball and then plays it out towards the right-hand side to Aurier. Aurier leaves it, and then Bale dashing across. It's one back by West Ham, and Bowen will leave it for Lanzini. Lanzini comes forward, leaves it to, plays it out rather to Snodgrass on the left-hand side. Now Cresswell tees it up for a left-footed cross, comes off Aurier, and then we'll run for Gareth Bale. Lovely calm pass by Bale, and then Kane will run across the halfway line, plays it into the path of Gareth Bale. Chance to maybe finish off West Ham here for Bale, dribbles into the penalty area! Oh, he's put it wide! When you would have nailed him on to put that in, Bradley.
Wow.
He could have run it into the corner as well.
He's far from fitness, but just...
He wanted a goal on
just a little taster for the Tottenham fans there, wasn't it?
He wanted a goal on his second debut.
There's still a chance here for West Ham.
That's it. I mean, you know, another day he might have been asked to run into the corner and just keep it, but he only had one thing in his mind there. He wanted that goal.
It would have been, let's not forget, another assist from Kane. Let's just remind everybody.
Yeah, unbelievable.
What a crazy game.
Yeah, it has been.
A great watch for us, though.
Been.
Wow.
He's been directly involved now, Kane, in 12 goals in his first 5 games in the Premier League this season. He tries to get away down the left-hand side. The referee will pull them back because that ball's gone out of play, and it will be a throw into West Ham right-hand side. And they have got another 2 minutes to try and carve out one last chance in this game and deny Tottenham the 3 points. Floated forward, Souček might well win that header, leaps for it, Sanchez went up with him, then goes up for the header again, doesn't quite run for Yarmolenko, and it's cleared away hurriedly by Reguilon. Centre circle for West Ham. Ogbonna out to the left to Cresswell. He's got Snodgrass ahead of him down that touchline. Now tries to play it down the line for him. Aurier's there, but then Snodgrass gets between him and the ball, shields it, and there's a foul.
Jose Mourinho is furious.
Wow, I
with his fullback there. He just come round in front, didn't he, Snodgrass? And he clever at that.
He was clever.
Minimal contact.
Yeah.
Aurier just bumped him. You know this is going.
Wow.
Tough for Tottenham here. They've got to defend this.
I bet you Mourinho can hardly watch.
This is going to be put right on that 6-yard line by Aaron Cresswell.
Cresswell then with the free kick from the left touch line. West Ham sending everyone forward apart from the goalkeeper. Here comes the free kick, but the referee is not happy with something, and so he will just go and have a word with someone in that Tottenham Hotspur penalty area. Is there going to be late drama here in a game that looked to be done and dusted for Spurs after that electric start when they scored 3 in the first 16 minutes. Here it comes from Cresswell, and it's headed away by Tottenham, comes to the edge of the box, Winks with a good touch, it'll run for Lanzini! Oh my word! West Ham have done it! They've come back from 3-0 down, and it is an extraordinary strike from Manuel Lanzini. He's absolutely mobbed by his teammates. Tottenham players are on the floor, on the turf. They cannot believe it. Jose Mourinho moves across to the West Ham technical area. This is extraordinary stuff here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They led 3-0 after an electric 16 minutes, and West Ham have plugged away, and they've got an equaliser right at the death. It's Tottenham 3, West Ham 3, and what a goal to draw it.
Thumping shot, quite brilliant. The spirit of West Ham has been outstanding in this game. They looked out of it with Spurs driving forward and scoring the goals and cruising to a 3-0 lead, but West Ham have not stopped and wavered in their beliefs. They've attacked, they've been brave. Forget about teams this season parking the bus in the Premier League. If you've got the courage and the conviction to just sometimes go for it, this game is an invasion game. It's about getting the ball into your opponent's 18-yard box, and he just slammed a shot in there. Hugo Lloris, a world-class goalkeeper, flung to the top left-hand corner. He couldn't keep Lanzini's shot out. 3-3, that may well be the final whistle, and it is. That's like a win there for West Ham.
Wow, it's almost unbelievable. this game at times, to see what Tottenham did, scoring after 50 seconds, scoring another 2 before the 16th minute is out, and West Ham never ever laid down in this game. They were still plugging away, as I say, into that second half. They managed to get a goal back, and you think surely there isn't anything going to happen here, because that was in the 82nd minute from Fabian Balbuena. They get that own goal from Davinson Sanchez after great work from Vladimir Kufal, and then right at the end another free kick given away by Aurier, which was really costly. The ball came in, and when it broke out at the edge of the penalty area, Harry Winks touched it. It looked like they got the danger away, but Lanzini runs onto it and gave it an almighty crack. It swerved away from the outstretched left arm of Hugo Lloris into the crossbar and post, and then nestled in the goal. An extraordinary finish. The West Ham players are jubilant. The Tottenham players, including Harry Kane and Gareth Bale, stormed down the tunnel shaking their heads. Football, extraordinary at times. It's finished here. Tottenham 3, West Ham 3.